Karma, it's all about love, relationship, and karma, but it's extremely important because the message that I have to give you came in my trance state. So I want you all to really listen to me. You might have to watch this live a couple of times. You might want to take some notes because this live is going to be transformative. You're going to learn about life. You're going to learn about being here on planet Earth and all of the other good stuff. So, without any further ado, I'm going to start the live. It's about love and karma. So, basically, to start off, you guys know that we as human reincarnates multiple times here, right? And we also know from going back to what I have been talking about till now is that the soul doesn't only have one life. I'm not talking about reincarnation. We already know that there is a reincarnation and souls have many, many multiple lives. But I'm also talking about parallel universes. So the soul is experiencing different life in different paradigm and different universal life, right? So, what we need to know right now is that the planet Earth is the toughest school, meaning that when you and I are on different planet or maybe on different even parallel universes, it is not the lessons and the learning, it is not as painful and as hard as what we're experiencing right here on this line of reincarnations. Okay, so we come here on planet Earth. We know already that this is a school. We know that this is the toughest school. And sometimes, if you notice, there's going to be a lot of miscarriage happening for the first 3 months. And the reason being is that sometimes, although our souls had made the decision to come and go through this tough school, but still, the first 3 months, we are like, oh my God, I'm not sure. We get cold feet and we are like, I'm not sure if I'm really ready for this. And I tell you guys how I know this mainly because in one of my trance, I experienced my birth. I was seeing my rebirth. And when I was experiencing my rebirth, I realized that I did not want to come. And I was struggling that no, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe my soul tricked me into it, but I think it's too hard and it's 2 feet. And like I said, I got cold feet. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, right? So but then again, it was too late for me. But for many different souls that you see the mother has a miscarriage is because we are like, oops, I don't think I'm ready for this now, right? So if this happened to you as a mother, don't beat yourself up because this is the soul plan and this is what the individual make a decision. So there's nothing that you guys have done, there's nothing that you could have done that could make a difference. What I'm trying to say is don't go into the blaming games. Okay, so now we come here as strongest soul, and when we're looking at the word karma, karma is neither good or bad. Karma is neutral. And to explain it for you guys very simply is this is the way I look at it. If you're going through an easy event, or something that you really like. For instance, let's say that you love to study art, right? And in the package of all the courses that you are taking, you love art, but the number that or the grade that you're going to get for studying art is not high, is very minor number that you're going to get. But then again, it comes to the tough lesson that you really have heartbreaking, it's very painful, you get wounded. For those, you're going to get a really high grades. So that's the way it is, really looking at karma as the schooling, right? So now the schooling, when it comes to love, which a lot of us has major problem in this department, this is what I want you to really specifically look and hear and comprehend what I'm saying. Karma is neither good or bad, is about getting the grades, right? But basically, again, it comes to the four apps that I constantly repeat myself. What are those four apps, guys? Number one, self love. So basically, I keep repeating myself. I said, if you want to see that you really have self love or not, look at your outer reality. If your outer reality is to your liking, if you have a good job, if you have a good partner, if your relationship with your parents, with siblings, with everybody is good, you're in harmony, then you have self love. If the outer world is really hard and tough, that's just an indication of the number you have for your self love. Okay, so the first app that all human being comes with is self-love. Number two, the second app is worthiness. Again, after the first part, the self-love, the second part, worthiness, is the second apps that open up. You look at your reality, you see your partner, how much love and care and self-respect he or she has for you. It shows you, is the indication of the number of your worthiness. The third app is being deserving. The fourth app is being enough. So all of these, number one, self-love, number two, worthiness, number three, being deserving, number four, being enough, is basically creating the mirror in your outer worlds. This is how the other people are treating you. This is how other people behaving when they're with you or they're around you, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now when it comes to karmic love and karma, I basically divide this into two, and I want you to really hear me out to understand what I'm trying to tell you guys. We have two different love. Number one is karma and love, or karmic love. Number two is sacred love. Now I want to tell you guys how these two are different. Part one, the karmic love is the one that the other person, the partner, is constantly bringing out the worst in you. The karmic love is the shadow part of you. everything that you don't accept or you don't love about yourself, that's what the karmic partner in love and relationship brings out of you. On the contrary, the sacred love is the part that the partner that is mirroring you is showing you all the good parts in you. I want to make sure that I am clear and you guys all get this. Okay? So the karmic love is the partner that's mirroring as a partner in your reality, is bringing the worst out of you. The sacred love is the one that's bringing the best out of you. So in order for you to be really clear and get this, is the karmic love is the one that you say, I don't know, I can handle everybody except this one. The sacred love is the relationship that is just so soothing. It's easy, it's flowing, it's loving, right? And when you're with this partner, you realize how much love and self-respect you are getting and how you are being treated well. So these are the two parts that I want you to get. Now, you guys write in the comments for me to see which one of these two relationship are you in right now, or have you been in one. I want you to differentiate these two. Now, the second part also, to separate these two from one another, is that when you have a karmic love, the love is only in the three lower chakras. Those three lower chakras, especially the sexual chakra, right? I'm hearing a background noise. I'm not sure. Hello, Jeff and Stephen. One of you guys, I'm hearing a background noise. If you can please correct that. And welcome, guys. So, thank you. That's fixed now. So the karmic love is connected to the three lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral, and especially the sexual chakra. But the sacred love is connected to the heart and the upper chakra. So everybody write this in the comments for me to make sure that we got it, in order to differentiate. Is this a karmic love or is it a sacred love? The karmic love is the three lowest, especially the sexual chakra, and the sacred love is from the heart, is connected to the heart, the ajna, and the upper chakras, right? So what happens here is when you are in a karmic love relationship, the ego mistakenly, that karmic ties or the karmic bonding that you have with this specific soul from the past lives, the ego tells you, oh, this is love, which you are mistaking the karmic love with sacral love, because these are very close to one another. Because as you heard me before, this sort of, when we have someone in our lives that they are coming in our lives, and we have all the passion and we're the pool and the instant connection. There is a family, it's very familiar to us. So when you get into a relationship or you're connecting with someone and you're like, oh my God, I feel so comfortable, and the word is being home. You know this person, you feel so comfortable when you're around this person. This is the invitation or the trick for you to come on in. Let's take the lesson together, right? So what we need to understand, the difference is that when it comes from the karmic one, it's all that juice and passion and connection and all of this good stuff, but it's very hard, it's painful, it's heavy. These are the indications that these are karmic ties. These are the karmic bounding. Because of course I'm familiar, of course I know you in both situations, because in multiple lives or other lives we have come together, and here we are again giving another chance to see, can we learn the lesson, right? So in both scenarios it's very familiar to us. But like I said, in the karmic one, the person you're in relationship with is bringing the worst out of you. In the sacred one, they bring the best out of you. So see how this relationship feels to you. Or if you're not in a relationship right now and you're looking back, you're seeing, did it feel heavy? How did you feel around this person? When you make a mistake, were they, touching at your wounds? Were they creating more wounds, or were they helping you out by shadowing you, by mirroring you? Were they helping you out to see the previous wound and help you out to go through it? Did they make, as they bring the wounds out, did they help you to heal it, or on the contrary, did they make it worse? What it is both for you? Vanessa said, what is it? Both. Okay. So it can, you feel like, if there is a confusion here, if you feel like, oh, is sacred and is that, then I'm going to add something else so you guys can differentiate it. Remember that before we come here, our soul didn't choose for us to be in these relationships for a long time, for us to experience the pain and suffering for the long time. So the karmic relationship never was meant for a long term, that, oh, we getting married and we're going to live happily after till forever. The karmics is come and you divide, you fall apart, you go through the heartbreaks and la la la. Another thing to know that this is karmic is the person leaves the relationship and comes back. The karma keeps repeating itself. It leaves and it comes back, right? But in the sacral, is kind of like having a soulmate that is easy. It could be for a lifetime, and you guys are learning together. So since I have more guests, this is my expertise, because I have worked literally for, as you guys know, hundreds of people. And this is a part that I have done so many sessions. But I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to let my other guests to collaborate on it. But I'm probably going to do another live to give you 10 points to really be crystal clear how to differentiate a karmic life versus sacred life. In the meantime, sit in it and see how you guys feel. Well, welcome, Jeff and Steven. Who wants to jump in?
Hi, Sudi. Thank you for the invitation. Hi there, Jeff. How are you doing today? All right. So yeah, it's like today your topic on love and what do we have to say here? So yeah, as you were saying, I'd like to segue from your comments earlier, Sudi, on the karmic relationships, the loving karmic relationships we have in our lifetime. Um, these often are carried through from lifetime to lifetime, and we honestly may not recognize them before you meet. You know, not oftentimes you'll see one another and you'll just have a knowing about the person. A lot of Hollywood films are made around this, and this is actually what's happening. So a lot of television and film actually teaches us to the public unknowingly. You know, they just look at it as a romance story, but really this is what's happening. You have these karmic relationships that you've created in the distant past, and we've simply had our memories erased, so that this time around it'll actually unfold as a lesson and not to interfere with what's was destined to happen. So and of course we do the best we can, learn from one another, our mistakes, and of course oftentimes nowadays, especially as the changes are accelerating, the lifespan of the relationship sometimes happens to be shorter than we want. You know, but there are lessons that we're learning from these experiences, even though they're very painful, especially when it comes to relationships. I think all of us could have some good stories to tell, you know, about that particular person, whatever, whichever gender it was, and however it happened. And some people go on to write books about such things because they're so detailed and so moving and touching to the experiencer that they want to share their story to the world, especially those that have a lot of kapha and love to love, the people out there with brown eyes. You know what I'm talking about. This is I mean, our true essence, the true essence of the soul is love. And this is obviously the most desirable thing in existence, not just in the material world here. You know, we want our material comforts here when we come here into this life, but nothing makes us more happier than the feeling of love, and that's exactly why. And so we have this longing for something that we've forgotten, you know, and we've left, but it's only temporary for this period of time. As long as we understand this and it's clear to people, then it will help make life a lot easier. You know, when you run into these people that are destined in your life to actually come about. Typically, this is going to happen in the earlier part of your life, for the first quarter of it, because we're designed to actually, you know, take this partner and create a family and experience family life. And of course, the beauty of creating children and the love that they bring us for the remainder of our life, no matter what happens with the partner, whether we remain with that partner or we part. Which is a painful truth that we face almost every day. So I'm sure everyone in the group here that's following, listening today, has had some painful stories to tell. But to understand that, you know, the key is love, and increasing your sensitivity to match that. You know, maybe not everyone's going to really be on your best list, especially some of the partners perhaps you've experienced, but sometimes we do make wrong choices in the people we partner with. But if you listen to your heart, I think a lot of people may have you know turn their back on that. And if you really listen to what really makes you happy and makes you smile, and you're not pressured into anything, but you really follow your heart, I think these are where the best lessons are going to come from in one's life. Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, come on in.
If I was to think of something to add to this, what immediately comes to mind is that we have an opportunity to grow, and that seems to be the overarching theme. It seems to be the overarching spiritual theme. If we want to even if we stick with more traditional religions, but even if we go to the religion, the belief system of reincarnation, then it does seem to indicate that we've got a shot every time we have an incarnation. We've got a shot to grow. It's like another chance to play the video game and see how far we can get. If we maintain that belief system, then we can observe pain and pleasure a little differently through a little bit different lens. So when you talk about those that show up that cause pain, those that show up that feel natural and comfortable, well, I like fitness, I like exercise, I talk about this a lot. If I go to the gym, or I don't go to the gym and I just exercise in the world, and I exercise at my current capacity, I'm going to keep what I have. I'm not going to build much, I'm going to keep what I have. If I want to grow, I might be sore. If I want to put on more muscle mass, if I want to run faster, if I want to increase and grow in my athletic ability, I might be sore as I increase my body's capabilities. And tying that into this, it occurs that relationships, or I don't want to say relationships, everything's a relationship, but people, let's just say other souls, other people and personalities can show up to our life and can almost cause it without us causing it. Where if I go to the gym, if I say, well, I want to get bigger muscles, I'm taking an action. I'm like, I'm entering into this willingly. And I think what can kind of hit us with people and relationships is we might have forgotten that we've asked, or we didn't think that we asked. They just show up. So when we meet somebody who's comfortable and natural, maybe that's just where we're at. We are vibrating at a certain frequency, so we're attracting the person that is where we are. So it feels very good. It feels very natural. And it's wonderful. There's nothing to be mad about when we have that joy in our life. It's a beautiful thing. And when we meet somebody who causes us mass distress, it might be that person is there as a catalyst for our growth. You know, and I know and one of the things that I think can get a little mucky here, and I want to distinguish, is we live in a time where we are just drowning in memes. We are drowning in memes, and there are so many people that put content out, and I don't want to say people, I'll just say there's so much content available that's like, if somebody left you, they didn't deserve you. If they left you, somehow they're the bad person and you're the good person if somebody left you. I don't actually look at it that way. I think that the only way to really grow is to be really honest with where you're at. So when I look at the women who I wanted to stay and didn't, I don't drink to me, memes are almost like alcohol. It's like spiritual alcohol drink. It's like, I don't want to sit there and drink that and feel numb for a minute while the problem is still there. What I would rather do is say, this woman left me. Why? Not that she's perfect, not that she doesn't have all her flaws. What was missing? What was I doing that maybe I needed to upgrade so that next time I meet somebody, I still am all that I am, because she's got to do the same work too. You know, there's some mismatch, but for me to do the self-work and grow as a result of the experience, how can I observe the things about myself that perhaps need tending to, need a bit of attention, and maybe need to be sore as I grow, so that I can then vibrate at the next level up. And that's when we meet that person where it feels wonderful and comfortable and all that fun, wonderful stuff.
Yeah, so like I said, is like
Very
you
true.
have a soul contract, and is the soul, in the soul contract there is this karmic ties, and our soul, since our soul has decided everything, how this life is going to be and what are the lessons that we're going to have to go through, is that our soul never made this decision to get into a karmic, because I started before you guys come and I gave a lot of details. So our soul never intended to stay in a long-term relationship. This was supposed to be something like a crash course to come in, and again, we learned so much. One of the things that I've been talking about a lot to you guys is oftentimes, especially women, when we get into a relationship, we lose ourselves in the relationship. What do I mean by that? By losing ourselves is that we are constantly trying to get approval because let's face it, guys, it doesn't matter how old we get. I do sessions with people who are over 80s, and I still see that little child. So in karmic relationship, when two wounded children they get together, and like I said, their ego by mistake is telling you this is love, and because none of us has really experienced unconditional love on planet Earth, hardly anybody has experienced unconditional love. So we don't have a specific frame of what unconditional love is. So as we get into this karmic relationship, I am wounded, he is wounded, or she is wounded, and we are trying to fight over an empty place, right? So when we get to this relationship, basically what's going on is we were supposed to not to lose ourselves in the relationship. But imagine all the old programmings, all your wound is coming up. And unconditionally, I am expecting that this soul is going to heal all of my wounds while I haven't really done the work myself. I haven't done the inner work. So basically, what's happening here is that you come into this relationship and it's hard and tough. You lose yourself, you lose your self love, you lose your worthiness, and this person is basically taking your power. So instead of crying after this person who showed up and left, sit and really contemplate on it. What was the lesson? Don't get into the painful conditioning that, oh, the abandoned issue is showing up. Like you see, these karmic people, they come in and out, relationship in and out, is repeating. And I'm constantly being experiencing, oh, I'm being abandoned. Oh, this is another abandonment issue. And so much of codependency and so many of our apps are coming here. So basically, the goal is to realize, sit back and say, it's not about the length. I haven't done anything wrong, or the other person hasn't done anything wrong, because the soul contract is that this person is coming to show me my shadow, to show me where I'm wounded. It's not their responsibility to heal me, it's my responsibility to be awake enough to see, oh my God, look at the mirror. This is where I have been wounded, and start doing the inner work. Coming to back to you, Stephen, what do you have to add here?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that we definitely need to focus on these traumas that we've experienced in the past, and help overcome them, and not spend too much time dwelling on them. But it is painful. It's hard. It's easier said than done. I think that most people agree, especially those that are more sensitive amongst us. It's just tough, and some people, you have to have a bad break. It may not be possible for that lifetime any longer to
Do you
pair
have
with
any
some.
tools, Stephen, right here? Like, okay, we know these are soul contracts.
Mhm.
We know is the karmic ties. And now that I'm in it, what is the tools you have? For me, I said we have to let the messenger go and just say, this was the messenger. It brings me a message. And now I have to learn to separate myself from the messenger and get the teaching, because we all know that every soul on this planet Earth is the teacher. So what is the lesson? I think awareness, as I always said, the first step is awareness. The minute I'm aware that, oh, this is unworthiness, oh, this is abandonment issue, 85% is done. 85% of the healing is happening the minute I'm clear exactly. It's not about that guy, it's not about that girl, it's about the lesson. This is the lesson. And the 25% is now you pull back and you start doing your inner work. So do you have any tools for us to use when we go through this?
Okay, so what I'll do for everybody is I'm going to publish a mantra on my page that people can actually select after the it'll be up there within 24 hours. But aside from that, that mantra will be it's a Saraswati mantra, and Saraswati is known in Hinduism as the goddess of love and beauty and luxury, and so. Perhaps those of us that need that, this will help with psychological conditioning, if for those that actually feel they need it. That's one thing I'd probably advise for those people that feel called to need something like that, or where they're the type of person where they're actually finding themselves repeating positive words to themselves periodically for for motivation, something like that may work well for such people. Otherwise, find someone that you actually trust their opinion on, and perhaps this is, I think, more necessary than we probably choose to admit. Sometimes it's hard to see the right decision to make because we're in the relationship. Sometimes you're going to need an outside perspective, because we may not be thinking clearly, and it's we're too overwhelmed by the emotional feelings of something going wrong, whether it's just a temporary thing, or perhaps the relationship's ending, or it's over. Perhaps you may need some counseling to some degree. Perhaps it may be something as just as simple as talking to a friend or a mentor, such as Sudi, or someone, perhaps if it's very severe, perhaps you may need to seek out a psychologist, someone who you can actually talk to and have respect for, someone that can actually give you feedback on perhaps what you may have done wrong or not seen right, or something like that. And then take that feedback and consider that to yourself. Perhaps it may be constructive feedback that you may need to help you make changes, to perhaps something that one of us may have done wrong, or because I know we always want to blame the other person.
Yes, coming back to you.
There's a few things. One, I don't think that losing yourself to the other person is strictly a female to male phenomenon. I've experienced that myself, even as I would even say as the patriarch, provider and defender of my last relationship of 10 years. But she was so extreme extrovert in her personality that it really ran, like I kind of collapsed into her world because it was just so electrified a lot of the time. I think a couple of things. One is the simple act of mindfulness. We talk a lot about meditation, and meditation, for those of you who don't do it, doesn't have to be some weird thing that is hard to understand. It's simply just being still and bringing attention to something that is vibrant. So if you have pain in your heart, so for a lot of us, the pain of love is a pain in our heart, we might observe a physical sensation in our heart. Well, that's not real. It's phantom. It's not actually happening. But you couldn't tell any of us it feels absolutely real. So that is something that we can bring our mind to and be with it, because just like if we were to hit our hand against the wall accidentally or on purpose, and our hand hurts, if we bring attention to that pain, we don't run from it, we bring attention to it, we'll understand it more completely, and it will go away faster. So if we're hurting in our hearts over a relationship, rather than running away from it and having it chase us everywhere we go, we can simply sit still and breathe and become aware of it, and just give it the attention that it's really asking for, because it's asking to not be ignored. It's asking to express itself, and it wants to be heard. So give yourself some time to sit, even if it's 5 minutes. That's going to be a good 5 minutes. Could be 15 minutes, could be 5, could be 10, whatever you have. Sit and give it that time. Another exercise that I like.
An option for this kind of wound to say, I'm going to sit 5 minutes every day and I'm going to meditate, and this is going to go away. I don't agree. I think it takes years of self-discovery, and because oftentimes I believe, Jeff, what happens is when something happens, like we experiencing heartbreak, and we are like, oh, how can I run away? You're absolutely right. One part is, most often when we hurt, we try to run away. Okay, that's not the right part. But in order to sit with it, the first part is to recognizing the lesson, the teaching. And then it takes years. What goes wrong with relationship? Oftentimes you and I see that one relationship goes bad, is heartbreak, and then instead of us giving ourselves plenty of time to go through all the lessons and pain, we rush to the next one. And we don't. I see that every single day, guys.
Well,
Trust
let
me.
me continue, because that I agree with you. I agree that it's a lifetime journey. I don't think it takes years. I think it's a lifetime journey. That was simply, step one. I mean, for somebody who's on the call who maybe isn't on the journey and they want to get on the journey, that's some level one, step one stuff. I think also that when we do that and we become intimately knowledgeable of the pain, is to not make it wrong. We often think, oh, I'm going to disappear and it's going to go away. Like you were saying, well, it could take years. Well, it might never go away. And it might not be a bad thing that it never goes away, because when I am going on dates with women currently, there's a memory of how people can be towards each other. So there's a sensitivity and compassion that I bring that I might not have had when, we often say that we get wiser as we get older. And maybe why we say that is, when we're youthful, we're arrogant. I don't care. I'm going to live how I live. I don't care if I hurt the other person. We're just very wild in our being. And by that hurt persisting, when we show up to people as we get older, we're not so reckless with other people. We're not so wild and arrogant. We're a little bit more humble. We're a little bit more compassionate, so we can give that person more space and allow that person more room. So I think that's another thing to keep in mind. And then the last thing I wanted to throw in this whole segment was, there's a meditation that I've used a lot that I would encourage everybody to look up, which is Metta, M-E-T-T-A, which it's not M-E-T-A, it's not an adjective, it's M-E-T-T-A. It's a type of meditation that
And
is...
You can write it in the comments, Jeff.
I don't know how. I tried to reply to somebody in the comments that I didn't know how to do it. So somebody else who knows how to do it, type it, because I couldn't figure it out. Sorry. And I'm a tech person, but I couldn't figure it out. So type it for me. Somebody type it for me. So it's M-E-T-T-A, Metta meditation, and it's loving kindness. And the brief on it is that rather than sit in stillness and observe silence and whatever comes up, you actually focus on people in your life, from people who you have a very close, easy relationship, a neutral relationship, and then those who may have hurt us, who we have a more challenging relationship. And we build the muscle over time of wishing these people well in our visualization. And the side effect of wishing these people well is we physically feel the wellness. We physically feel the joy and happiness and loving that we are wishing upon our target in our visualization. And that is a wonderful gift to give ourselves. It's almost like, it's like taking a emotional shower sometimes, or like eating a meal. You just feel better. You're like, I'll do a metta meditation, and it's like I just gave myself like a sauna or a steam room or something. Like I just kind of washed over myself with good emotions and good chemicals. So I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, awareness is, I always say, guys, I said number one is awareness. I am aware what is going on. And I said 80 to 85% is done. Number one, awareness. I am aware what's going on. Number two, every soul who's entering my life has been by invitation from my soul. They are not the enemies. Every soul is the teacher. So basically what Jeff said, forgiving, we never really have to forgive anybody else because it's all us. So it's basically we need to learn to forgive ourselves. So once you're aware, everybody has come to your life for invitation. That's the awareness. Number two, separating the issue with the person, let that person go and come to yourself that what did this teacher teach me? What was the lesson? Great. Number three is the most important, guys. Give yourself time for the inner work, working on your shadows, healing yourself. Most often people don't do this, and you're under assumption that that guy was bad, this girl was bad. Now I know how to handle it. No, 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 no. It's all about doing the work. If we don't do the work, the next one and the next one, it keeps popping up. So give yourself plenty of time to do this. Number four tools that I want to give you guys today is to create a place, a sacred place for yourself, and do a mantle, like put some sages or whatever you burn or something, turn on the candle, open up the window. I burn sage every single day and open up all the doors and windows, burn the sage, and then you create a sacred place for yourself. So going back to what I said at the beginning of my talk, live, the karmic love is in the lowest three chakras, especially the sexual chakras. So what I would do, I would put my both hands on the lower belly button, and we all know that Angel Michael, you all know Angel Michael by now, he's the one who is cutting out the karmic cord. And you have to do this multiple times. It's like, oh yeah, I did it. I asked Angel Michael to come and cut out this karmic tie, and it didn't work. No, you got to do it. Sometimes these karmic ties are so deep that you have to keep doing the work. But what I would recommend, put your both hands together, put it under your belly, ask Angel Michael in your vision that he's coming, is putting a huge tube in your stomach, and he's pulling out, and in your mind's eyes see that you have the karmic cord with your partner, and he's cutting it out, and see that person is very quickly is getting out of your space. The other thing that I will give you guys is do a mantra. In all space and time, I am cutting all the karmic cords in any relationship, whether positive or negative, in all space of time. I am cutting out the karmic ties, and keep on doing it with anybody, whether it's good or bad in your life, especially those who are really heavily in your space. Coming back to you, Stephen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Sudi. Yeah. So you commented on a moment ago on different relationships. I wanted to inject here. There are sometimes we can choose the wrong partner. This is a possibility, and this can happen through one or more lifetimes, where this same person will come back into the life, because there's just a karma, just a word that translates to the effect. Like you have a cause and you have effect, and so this is just, you don't pay your electric bill, your lights turn off. This is just like this. This is this simple. So the people, it's clear to people that they understand. And so sometimes if we get involved with someone that, let's say we shouldn't, we're not quite, compatible with, or, and we know it, but yet there's another reason there, perhaps, whatever that may be, they're wealthy, whatever it is, famous. And of course, then you get involved and you create this relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that when when that relationship comes back around this lifetime, it's necessarily positive for you. So it could be just this chain reaction of bad choices. So again, if you find this to be a problem in your life, you probably need some guidance. This is an indicator for that perhaps maybe you're choosing the wrong person that you may want, but probably is not good for you.
You know what you're saying, Stephen, is really the opposite of what I'm saying or of what I'm believing. There's no good or bad person. Is the messenger who is coming. There's no good or bad karma. The messenger is coming. What is the teaching? What do I have to learn? Thank you very much. Goodbye. And now I'm going to do my inner work. So, I mean, like I said at the beginning, if you're getting into a relationship that is very smooth and everything is going good, there's not enough growth in there, right? It's to your liking, but like I said, here on planet Earth is a school. The lesson is very small, you love it, it's easy, but you're not going to get a high grade. It is through those tough big lessons, through those heartache, through those deep wounded karmas, that you're gonna get a great grade. So you choose. There's no bad, right or wrong karma. You choose how much do you want to strengthen. Like Jeff said, do you want to go work out at the gym and lift 5 pounds, or do you want to gradually pick up the weights and keep picking up like 40 pounds and 50 pounds? Back to you, Jeff.
I'm not sure I have anything more to add at the moment. I think that unless we're going to take this in another direction,
No, do we have any tools, anything else? So you said the meditation helps. Anything else?
I think that what I would just kind of say with just another minute is that the exercise that I gave, that I said is a very level 1 exercise of bringing mindfulness to the pain. It's simple. This is one of those things that can begin simply and take a lifetime to master. It's not something simple like once you observe pain, it's gone and you never deal with this ever again. It's building the practice, building the skill in the practice. That's how you approach living. That's how you approach your experiencing of life and your experiences of life. So I'm at a point now where, and I'm not a master, but I have been conditioning this for a very long time. Because I guess for me, when I say I'm not a master, it's because I don't even see it possible to become a master. It's just conditioning like exercise. You condition a way of being. So if I am experiencing something that is disturbing me, and I'm closing my eyes as I'm thinking this. So as I experience something that might be bothering me, I will sit in a calm state and I'll say, where is this showing up? Where's this located in my body? It might not always be my heart, or it might be my heart and it'll be like, my left eyeball. What are you talking about? But don't make it wrong. Oh, there's something there in my left eyeball. And where I'm going to go with this is, earlier you said about expressing like a memory. Well, memories get stored. You didn't say it in that language, but there was something that you pointed at, and I don't remember exactly the words you used. But what we want to do is we want to express what has become memorized by our body, because emotions are physical and they're memorized by our body. So we might start with the heart because that's the most obvious. It's very loud, it's very vibrant. But the more we sit with that, we might say, oh, wait a minute, there's a pain in my bicep. Wait, there's a pain in my ankle. Why is there a pain in my ankle? And if we follow the sensation, we might actually start to notice memories come up. And I've had this experience where a memory comes up and it's related in some way. And then the heart softens a little. It hurts a little less. Well, I couldn't have experienced my heart heal a little bit more and hurt a little less had I not sat and followed the sensation. Where is it in my body? How deep is it? What's the color of it? Is it a fluid? Is it a gas? And try to almost objectify the sensation in the body, and then notice what memories might express themselves. And then when that memory expresses itself, that's when we more fully heal. So see, something so simple can really grow and expand to be something quite advanced. So I would definitely take that practice seriously, even if at the beginning it's simply my heart hurts, let me sit with that. That might be just level 1, but you can take this forever.
Absolutely, yes. So like I said, body has memories, we have emotional bodies, all our cellular from the old past behaviors. And sometimes I notice that when you change the place that you're in, like when you have a breakup and you go for vacation or you go somewhere, just the fact that you change the place that you're familiar with and you've been with that person, I often said, when two people break up, the one who leaves has an easier time than the one that stays. Why? Because everything is the memory. The kitchen where you had coffee together, where you make love, the bed, the couch, and all of this stuff. So sometimes changing location, but that's not really something fundamental. So if you want to work on something that is fundamental, guys, remember number one, awareness. Remember, everyone comes in my life by soul contract from previous lives and all that. And sometimes keep in mind, guys, the person who comes and we're going through this lesson with might not be the same exact soul that we had a heartbreak or whatever happened. Sometimes as souls, some souls, they sign a contract to come to help me learn the lesson. But it doesn't mean that I had a previous lives with them. Sometimes some souls just say, okay, I'm going to go and play this role for this soul to learn the lesson, or maybe not learn the lesson. But also remember something else. It's about boundaries, guys. Oftentimes in the karmic relationships, we lose our boundaries. What do I mean by that? I said, is karmic, it's a karmic relationship. If you're together, you're not together. You're breaking up, you're coming back together. It's karmic. But every time that this soul is coming back, what shows up? The four apps that I told you, all of us, I believe, all human came in. Number one, self-love. Number two, worthiness. Number three, deserving. Number four, being enough. So if the person is keep coming back and you just lose yourself and it's like, you're back, okay, all right, and you accepting that person, that means you are not holding down to your boundaries, meaning, where am I in self love, worthiness, love, love, love? And remember, guys, people come here not to stay forever. Like I said, it's like a bus. Somebody gets in, somebody leaves. Someone might stay 2 steps or the 10 step. It's not about them. Concentrate on yourself. This is your soul journey. So, Stephen, anything else to add?
Okay, so I'd like to say that anybody who's contemplating actually, yeah, I will inject something. We have Venus going retrograde here soon. It's already slowing down, and this is going to bring a lot of old relationships back into people's lives if it hasn't happened already during this time. And I think that this is going to be a time where people will either meet to make amends, over bad circumstances that occurred in the past, or maybe perhaps they will, make up and resume where they left off. So look out for that, everybody. And this could be familial too. It could be in your family, not just in a significant relationship. So I'll leave it on that. I think that everybody should. I think actually would be a good. Perhaps we can pick up on this in a month from now, when everyone's in the middle of it, and everyone can share what's happened to them, because this is going to be indicator wherever Venus falls in your birth chart. This is going to help indicate where this is probably going to come from. So look out for it, and be prepared, and just understand it's all about love. Don't there's no need to point fingers and get upset, but listen to your emotions more. As Jeff said, take some time out of the day to actually listen to your intuition, and meditation really is really the one and the same with this. This is something that everyone needs to do. The northeast corner of your living space is or room is actually the best location for this, where you can set up a small area of where it's peaceful for you to sit down and turn your phone off and don't be disturbed for a fixed amount of time, whatever you can afford to spend. That's about it.
Great. Thank you, Stephen. So guys, don't forget the live will be saved, honey. I'm also going live on YouTube, so don't you worry. Firuzi, thank you, and Marl for buying badges to help my channel. But don't forget, I pinned my YouTube. You can watch this live with my friends. And my goal, as you always know, is to help you have an easier life on planet Earth. So I try to give you as many tools that you can use for yourself to better your life and make your life easier. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Wednesday. We're back on Wednesday again. And thank you, Jeff and Stephen, for being here. And I'll see you all
Namaste.
next. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.